Says, I know you guys probably don't care, but my stream deck is working now. So I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it was like, hey, I want to work. We know that there's some big news coming up, so I want to help you out. So thank you, device. All right, so check it out. Big news here. So it was reported by Shams initially. Is it Shams or Shams? I always forget. Chat can let me know. Just in, the Sacramento Kings are expected to open up talks to potentially deal all-star De'Aaron Fox ahead of February 6th trade deadline. Or, obviously he could end up being a free agent in the summer of 2026. And this all comes because he is not extending his contract with the Kings. So it was very obvious that he wasn't staying after he did that podcast interview and basically said, we know how this goes. Oh wait, no, it wasn't a podcast interview. It was actually a post game, wasn't it? Was it a post game? No, it was a podcast. I don't know. My memory is fading. But he did an interview or whatnot. And he basically said, yeah, you got to get it together. They got to make something happen. I want to win, right? I love this franchise, but at the same time, I want to win. We all know what that means. That means he is asking out. And it was just a matter of time. And today is the day, ladies and gentlemen. He is basically asking out, and the Kings are open to listen. So we already know. What news do we know? What do we know, Clan? We already know that the San Antonio Spurs are interested in De'Aaron Fox. Like, that's been very obvious. It's been out there. We've known this for a minute that, they're keeping an eye on him, as they should. They were keeping an eye on a lot of players, but De'Aaron Fox was one that they were quite interested in. Now, this is what was not reported, but now we know for sure, is his preferred landing spot. Because first people started reporting he has a preferred landing spot, but what is it? We don't know. Now it's reported it is the San Antonio Spurs. Surprise, right? I'm not really that surprised at this point. I thought it was pretty obvious that would be the case. And we also have this, and this is actually some big news, okay? So if you're wondering what should you do? Should you trade for him now or should you wait? It looks like, guys, to be honest with you, I'm just going to be real. It looks like you're going to have to go ahead and get him now, right? Like, if you really want De'Aaron Fox, you're going to have to get him now, because Rich Paul, his agent, we all love Rich Paul around here, I'm being sarcastic, recently sent word that it would be wise for the Kings to move him now. So it says, even with Fox's preferred destination widely believed to be San Antonio, Fox's side will remain open to all destinations. So basically his agent coming out and saying, yeah, you probably need to go ahead and do it now, right? You probably got to do that. So here's the thing. Fox is how old? 27, right? De'Aaron Fox age. Let's see. 27 years old. But he just turned 27, right? This isn't old. I mean, don't get too wrapped into, is he with our timeline and whatnot? Look at Wemby, okay? He's like a baby and he's playing like he's a veteran. Like it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be okay. So let me just go ahead and give you my take on this overall. So if the Spurs are going to do it, I would prefer them go ahead and do it now rather than wait in 2026, because I don't know what that contract will look like. You do it now, as far as how bird rights works and all that, you can sign some more players. So I would just go ahead and do it now. So if you're going to do it now. Now, the question is, do we want them? Yes, we definitely want De'Aaron Fox. He's a phenomenal talent. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna give you a little something. Brought this up before, but I'll bring it up again. And after I show you this, I'm going to tell you best case scenario, at least in my opinion, best case scenario, worst case scenario, and what if the Spurs don't do anything at all. So let's see here. Oh, crap. This is actually the wrong thing. Here we go. So we're going to go to Steph Castle, because we love Steph Castle, right? We're going to look at his stats. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to matchup, head to head. That's what we care about. And we're going to see how well he did versus certain players. So you can look down here, right? Austin Reeves couldn't score on him. 28.6%. So this is specifically when this man is guarding you. Phenomenal defender, right? 28.6%. Yeah, he didn't do too hot. Sexton did pretty better. He did pretty much what you expect. 8 for 18, 44%. Still under 50%. And he did this with quite a few players, right? Like, you got a few in here, like SGA got 60% on you. You know, he's pretty doggone good, right? Kyrie Irving, 2 for 7. That's horrible. 3 for 7 for Tyler Hero. That's horrible. That's not horrible, but it's not great. Jamal Murray, 4 for 9. But one stands out here, and to me, De'Aaron Fox had his best showing against Castle. Not his personal best showing, but as far as the people that Steph Castle was guarding, De'Aaron Fox did the best out of basically everybody. He went 10 for 16, 62, and basically 63% when going at Steph Castle. So Steph Castle, even though he's super young, he's going to become even a better defender over the years. He could not handle De'Aaron Fox. And the Spurs were doing everything they possibly could, because you can see the matchup minutes are insane. 16 minutes is rough, guys. That's a lot of minutes for you to be on a player. Not necessarily normal. Just turned 27, and that's okay. That's all right. All right, so here's my thing. I'll just give you my overall take about this, okay? So what's the best case scenario, worst case scenario, and what if the Spurs don't do anything? So I think you have to trade for him now. Like, if you wait out, like I said, don't know what the contract will look like. It would just be more beneficial to do it now. Maybe you don't have, maybe you can do a 3-team trade or whatnot. But best case scenario, in my opinion, is, because you're going to have to give something up. All right, you're not going to be able to go into this room and just say, oh yeah, I'll give you a few picks, Keldon, Malachi, and Blake Wesley for good measure. That is not going to work. Okay, that is in dreamland. We hope that will work, but that is not going to work. They're going to want Castle, and they're going to possibly want Vassell. I guess it just depends on what direction they want to go in. If they want to stay competitive, then maybe they'll ask for Vassell. Maybe they'll ask for Keldon, yada yada yada, just so they can stay competitive. But if they want to just full on just rebuild, not do any of that, they're going to ask for Castle. I don't think there's any way around this. So in my opinion, best case scenario is Devin. Devin would have to go. That's the best case scenario. Now, we're not going to talk about picks, because it's going to be a lot of picks. It's probably going to be 4 first-round picks. Let's just be real, okay? It's probably going to be 4. 4-team trade. Let's get crazy. That would be nice. But yeah, it's probably going to be quite a few first-round picks, right? Hopefully none of the 2025, unless we're talking Chicago, which I don't know if they'll go for that, because that might not even convey. And then also we have a pick swap, one of their pick swaps in 2031, I believe. So we could very well just give them that back, and that's not that much of a hurt for us. A swap isn't as strong as an unprotected first-round pick. So it's not that big of a deal. So here's the thing, okay? So you could do that. Just not talk about picks. Just talk about the players. Best case scenario, Devin Vassell. In my opinion, worst case scenario is Steph Castle. And I think that there's actually 2 good reasons for both, right? I mean, from our standpoint, from a Spurs fan standpoint, right? Now, as far as getting rid of Devin Vassell, I feel like you would be at the very least upgrading that position for yourself, right? And it makes sense. And then when it comes to Castle, trading Castle, let's say the Spurs do elect to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and get rid of Castle. I don't like that. It doesn't make me happy, but at the same time, it would still make sense, because ideally, I do think that Devin Vassell would fit with what De'Aaron Fox is going to bring more so than what Castle can bring right now, because Castle's not at that point yet, right? So if the Spurs are thinking right now, let's make a run this season, next season, let's just do it. Maybe you do think about, okay, Castle, you can move. But in my opinion, that's worst case scenario, because I truly do think that he is star potential. And then what if the Spurs don't do anything? So if the Spurs don't do anything, I think at the very least, this is still a good sign that a lot of players in the future, and maybe pretty soon, are going to be really vocal about where they want to go, right? And they want to go to San Antonio. I think it shows that Wemby is already bringing people in. I think he has like the LeBron effect where guys want to play with him. So that's a fun factor, and it's borderline guaranteeing that the Spurs are going to be, nothing's guaranteed as far as championship, but it's basically guaranteed that the Spurs are going to be competitive for years on out. Long as you have Wemby, you're going to be competitive. That guys are already, during he didn't even finish his second year, asking to be traded to him. No one would have done this before Wemby got here. So if Spurs do nothing and we just chill out, obviously we still have a draft coming up. Obviously we can still make some trades. It's just not for Fox, and the Spurs be fine. But I just think that it's at least telling that we look pretty good, right, in the landscape of the NBA. So let's see. I know that the idea of getting rid of Castle kind of makes you a little wheezy, and I understand that. I completely get it. I guess it just kind of comes down to what the Spurs are prioritizing, and also comes down to what the Kings are prioritizing, right? You said no chance Castle gets dealt. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Would drive Castle to the airport? Okay, so somebody is ready. Somebody really wants De'Aaron Fox. Anyways, so De'Aaron Fox is a phenomenal player, and if this were to go down, I don't think that this is bad. Whatever direction the Spurs go in, I think that is a pretty good one. It's just, all right, let me say this, okay? I know we talk about stats, advanced analytics quite often, mostly advanced analytics. Like, we have fun looking at those. But let me tell you why I personally would rather Vassell than Castle, if it came down to it, okay? This isn't me pinning them against each other or anything. It's just if it came down to it. Because obviously Castle is the new kid on the block. Most people are going to be in favor of keeping him, because you've had Devin Vassell and you're like, oh, we had bad seasons, and Devin Vassell sometimes, he's not as great as I need him to be or want him to be, or yada, yada, yada. The reason why I personally would choose Castle to keep him over Devin, even though I think Devin's a better fit next to De'Aaron Fox, is I just feel like Castle, and this is a feeling, okay? This is not fact-based at all. I'm just going to be real with you, all right? It's very, very objective or subjective. I think that Castle is, I think he has a winning mentality to him. I don't think that he's afraid to be the second guy if it comes down to it, if he end up getting good enough where he could be that. I think that he's a guy that he might struggle in the first half, and it's like it never happened in the second. I think that, he has this competitive nature to him that you just can't teach. I think his IQ is ridiculous. I think that he's a great point of attack defender. I think that there's a lot to his game that I would want to keep him for, right? But when I go ahead and look at yeah, exactly. You said pro, you got Fox's bird rights con. You tied up $50 million for a second star. Yeah, that's why I was mentioning the bird rights. Like, that's why I think you would just do it now if you're going to do it. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I think mentality wise, I like him more than Devin. I feel like sometimes with Devin Vassell, he will just disappear. And Castle isn't better than Devin Vassell. Like, offensively, not by a long shot, not yet. Right? But I just think a lot of times, man, Devin isn't necessarily there. I feel like at the end of the day, he has to be like the fourth best player or third best player. And if he's a third or fourth, we are on board, right? We are cooking, okay? There's nothing that I've seen him do that makes me afraid of, can he finish, or can he do this, or can he be competitive? It's just, I just don't like, if I had to choose between two players, one of which I think once he actually gets, those fundamental skills a little bit down so he can be a better shooter, how consistent he will be versus the other. I just think the type of person Castle is and what he brings to the court, I just think that he will be someone that's a little bit more consistent mentality-wise. He does not disappear. I think Vassell, too often, he tries to think too much about what's the right play, what's the best play, rather than just thinking I'm the best play. And I feel like Castle has done that already, and he's just a rookie. He's already shown games where he's like, I'm the best play, and he's not even thinking twice about it. And yeah, sometimes it results in, some blocks, and, he's still learning. He fumbles the ball sometimes, but not getting calls, right? Because he's so young, which is stupid. But at the end of the day, I just like that mentality more. So for me, it's just something personal like that. But like I said, if it goes either way, if it swings either way, I understand it, right? Trigger says Castle isn't average in any aspect of offense, a decent playmaker, but not a level of a point guard, and he creates no stocks when being a primary defender. You said not the level of a point guard. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that part. Let's see. We still have hopes for him, but no, probably not. Castle ceiling is way higher than Vassell. For sure. Of course it is. Vassell is great. So let's not discredit Vassell. Vassell is great. I guess another thing too, which I could be completely wrong about this, but I feel like you could find another Devin quicker than you can find another Castle. Is that controversial to say? Like a point of attack, high basketball IQ, good frame player like Castle? I don't know if you can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how often you can find those. Devin Vassell, I mean, he's a scorer. And he's a great teammate, and his defense is decent. I don't know, man. Just wanted to know if you guys. It seemed like most people in the chat, if I scroll up here, saying don't get rid of Castle, keep Castle, let Devin go. But I think it also comes down to just the new guy in town. For me personally, it's the mentality that is just some things that I've seen out of Castle where I legitimately believe he's going to be something serious. But I don't know. And if I'm this high on Castle, then shoot, guys, I don't know. The Sacramento Kings might be too. But if the Spurs feel like we have to make a deal regardless, like you have to do it. So I'm not just saying one way or the other. You have to get rid of Castle or you have to get rid of Devin. I think I'm still doing it, right? Like I still think that it's an upgrade at the guard position, whether it's Castle or Devin leaving. It's just that I really do believe in Castle. Why are we stressing? There's no need to stress. It's just the reality of it. Like I think a lot of people are coming out with trade scenarios that just aren't reasonable, right? It's just not reasonable. I like the cooking. I like it. I like that people are cooking something up, but it's not reasonable. Here, let me see if I can find. I think Ty Yeager posted one. And I don't think it was Ty Yeager's idea. Where is it? I'm looking for it right now. Is this it? Yeah, it wasn't his. Somebody named Silent Ghost posted this. Like this, I don't think this is reasonable. I don't think this happens, right? So the Spurs give up Keldon, Zach Collins, and Chris Paul. So I guess if the Kings are trying to stay competitive right now, maybe, but no, I don't think so. That right off the bat, I don't think happens. I think that's too easy. This is too clean. The Spurs give up the 2025 first round, Chicago, okay. The Atlanta swap rights in 2026, they're swap rights, but that's a good one. That's probably the best one on this list. And then Atlanta's 2027. Well, no, Atlanta's 2027 might be the best one. and then you give them Sacramento their swap rights back. It's like, this is just too clean. There's no way they go for this. There's no way. And then you get Alex Lynn and Trey Lyles back. They're not gonna go for this. Why are we acting like the Spurs are actually going to do something? They're interested. It's news. Let's see what happens. All right. But if it happens, it's probably going to happen now. So we'll just see how they feel. And the Spurs are typically pretty active, right? I think that we look for those big time trades, but really think about it, guys. How often have you seen big time trades in the NBA in general? It doesn't happen that often. You think it does, because you have some that come to mind, like, oh, that time this happened. But, like, it doesn't happen that often. Paul to the Lakers. I don't know. Primo for Fox. That would actually be insane. If the Spurs could sign Primo and then sign him or trade him for De'Aaron Fox, that would be insane. That would be so great. I'll take Primo, unlimited potential. Okay. True, it's just the same thing every offseason, and they play that long game. Oh, yeah, for sure. Throw Mitch in the trade? Oh, man, you don't want to give up a great GM. I said, oh, my God, I keep Do they look alike? Why do I keep doing this? Brian Wright and Mitch Johnson, they do not look alike. I do this like every single time. Mitch Johnson. All right. Is this? Hey, that's Popovich. That's not Mitch Johnson. That's Popovich. Silly Google. All right. There's Mitch Johnson. They look nothing alike. What's wrong with me? Look at this. Nothing alike. But if someone said they were cousins, I believe you. They have the same looking forehead or something. Let's see. A little bit. Not really. Yeah, you said Mitch, and I thought our GM, man. Good God. Look up Mitch and Riley Curry twins. Riley Curry. Did time really fly that quick? What the heck? How old is she now? Oh, you guys can't see that. You can't see any of that. How old is this girl? What is going on? Oops. Yeah, he does look a little bit like her. But then again, I guess he look a little bit like Steph Curry. That's crazy. I remember this. The 2-year-old. I don't remember her getting older. She doesn't supposed to get older. You can't do that. Mitch is more like Elon Musk. Ooh, don't say that. I hope not. Then I would throw him in the trade. If Fox only wants to come to San Antonio, that gives us leverage. We've not just going to trade all of our best pieces when they mostly want picks. Oh, no, that's a really great point too. That's something I didn't even consider. But yeah, you're completely right. Like, him blatantly saying that he wants to go to San Antonio definitely works in our favor. I just think that bare minimum, you're giving up Castle or Devin. Like, I just can't picture a scenario at all that you don't do that, right? That's my thing. I can't picture scenario at all. But then again, the Spurs could do a 3-team trade. You got a bunch of second-round picks. Maybe they can make something happen with that. But we play the waiting game, okay? We got, see, when's the deadline, guys? February 6th? Is that when it ends? I always get confused with this. Next week? Does it end next week? So when does it start? I always get confused. You guys got to tell me. I'm dumb. The 6th? Okay. It started? It already started. Okay, that's what I figured. That the deadline is the 6th of February. Okay. In December? Okay. Started like a week ago and ends the 6th. Gotcha. Yeah, because most of the crazy stuff start to happen the week of the 6th, so that should be fun. And I'm not, guys, and this is different than other years, right? Other years, I've actually been quite busy on the week of, and we still reported on, we still talked about stuff, but like, I have nothing going on that week, dude. This is going to be fun. Well, I got work. I do have work. But after that, it's on, y'all. It's on. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All right, let's end this segment. This was good. Just some great news. I hope you guys are happy. You should be happy. All right. At the very least, anybody that wants De'Aaron Fox, people that don't, we all should be happy about this news. We all should be happy. If you want him, there is a big possibility that the Spurs could get him if they really do want him, if they really think it's worth it, right? Yes, you're going to be giving up, one of your star players, or not star players, but one of your best players. But that's the price of making a big trade like this. And if the Spurs don't want him, this is still great news because it just shows we still have some great draft picks coming up. And it shows that, hey, people are quite interested in coming to San Antonio. And it's going to be a continuous theme. And when the Spurs start rolling and they start getting into it and they start making those playoff runs, we could just constantly keep our team pretty great. Similar to what the Warriors were doing, where it was like, good God, can you guys just get worse? And then it just got better. That'll be the Spurs. We just keep getting better and better. And it should be a dynasty in the making. So this is a good indicator for what's to come, I think. All right. Oh, last comment I'll respond to. Trigger says, at least if Fox isn't traded, the Hawks are in a losing streak and Jalen Johnson is injured. I thought have the Hawks' tough games already came up? I thought it was coming up this upcoming week. Am I crazy? Or it already started? I have not been keeping up. Oh, it did already start. Okay. Yeah, it did already start. Yeah, the Knicks, they lost to the Pistons, lost to the Raptors, lost to Raptors twice. That's tough. Timberwolves, Rockets. Okay, they are on a losing streak. Yeah, they're about to lose again tonight. Maybe. 3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. They might not lose this. Rockets got a good defensive team now, so they probably should lose it. They started losing. That's great. That's actually great news. Regardless, the Spurs are fine. This is nothing but good news. No bad news. There's no bad news whatsoever. Just big news. All right, end the segment.